So it looks like we've got another participant on here.
Yep.
Oh, great. And are you able to see the Service Learning Clearinghouse screen all right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Super. Well, I think we're going to start now, even though there's just a couple of you on there. And we were planning on recording this webinar to put up on the National Service Learning Clearinghouse. So I think we're going to do that, and I'll give you a short overview of the website and some of our databases and how to search them. And then since there's just a couple of us, I guess we can sort of tailor it to your needs and questions you guys might have. And I think since there's just a few of us, you can go in and holler if you have any questions at any point. You can mute your line by pressing *6 so that I don't hear, whatever's happening in your background, and you can unmute it using *7, just so you know. Okay, I think we'll begin. I'd like to introduce myself first. My name is Heather Martin, and I'm the librarian for Learn and Serve America's National Service Learning Clearinghouse. And as I mentioned, this web seminar is going to be just a quick overview of the National Service Learning Clearinghouse website, some of our databases, and I'll give you a few tips and suggestions on how to search with us. Okay, and I think we'll start off on our home page here.
Oh, now can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. I just logged on a sec ago, so my name's Steve, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I should get everybody to do their introductions. Okay, so Steve from Salt Lake City, Utah. Somebody else want to pipe in with introduce themselves?
I'm Jess. I'm from Spokane, Washington.
Okay.
Hi, Steve. It's Marshall. Marshall Welch at St. Mary's College in California.
Okay, great. Well, I think that's everybody that's on here. So we're going to start from the homepage. Oh, and Steve, since you just popped on, you can mute yourself by pressing *6 and unmute yourself with *7 if you have a question. Okay, so from our homepage, the first thing I want to point out to you guys is how to get to our sector pages. If you look at the upper right-hand corner here, we have one for higher ed, K-12, CBO, tribes and territories, and our Learn and Serve America grantee page. Since I think a couple of you guys, if not all of you guys, are from the higher ed sector, is that correct?
Yeah.
We'll start with the higher ed sector page. And we like to think of this as sort of your home page. So the higher ed sector page has this dashboard here where we've got slides of some folks doing service learning. So if any of you have photos that you'd like to share with us, we'd love that. As well as a few resources for folks that are just getting started in service learning, or what is service learning, our faculty's toolkit for service learning in higher education, which is a great resource for any faculty that are just starting to integrate service learning into their courses, or any faculty member that wants to develop their service learning course. As well as our What's Happening here, this is a calendar of service learning events across the country, conferences and events. Some of those are online events. And these will link right to one specific to the higher ed sector. We have a few news highlights, some featured library items, and some other resources that we just think are pertinent to the higher ed folks. Along the side of this higher ed sector page, you'll see one of our success stories. And these are stories of service learning projects across the country and successes. One of the best ways we think to spread the word about service learning is to have those stories about the students and the communities that are actually touched by service learning. So again, I'd like to encourage any of you, if you have photos or stories about a particular student or a great project, we'd love to share those to our national audience. Okay, so that's the sector page, great place to start. And now I'm going to take you through a few of the different navigation tools. The first one I'd like to start with is we call it our Things to Do bar, and that's that blue bar that's at the top of the page. And it's at the very top of every page, so easy to find. The first one is our Explore A to Z topics, and this one takes you to a bunch of different keywords that are hot topics in the field of service learning, and those take you to site-wide searches. So similar to what you would do if you just typed in a term in the top right-hand corner search box, which is a Google-style search, we've just entered it for you. So that's a good way to start if you're looking for something on a particular topic. Next one here is find a job, and we have job postings in the service learning field, and we post for free, so if you're looking to fill a position, you can send us the job ad, and we'll be happy to post it. This section, our Promote Your Project page. NSLC is a really good resource to help get the word out about good work you're doing, and there's a lot of different ways you can do that. As I mentioned, that events calendar, we're happy to, for free, post information about your events, your job opportunities as well. There's a lot of places where we can use any photos you have or video, audio recordings or those success stories. And then our library is only as good as the resources that we have, so we're always reaching out to the community to get them to send to us any materials that you've created for service learning. Whether that be a manual or a sample form, something like that. And if any of you all are Learn and Serve America grantees, you're required to submit to us any materials that you create using any Learn and Serve America funding. So please do. It helps build the collection. It helps us promote what you're doing, and it also meets your funding requirements. And we do let Learn and Serve know every 6 months when we do our progress report what grantees have submitted to us. We have publications that you can order publications and our little Post-its and our Apple squishy balls and a bunch of those things that you'll see when we're out at conferences at our exhibit table. And many of those are for free or for a very small cost. So this is the page you would find all of those. And this is a really useful page we have. This is our Keep Up to Date page, and it basically gives you an in on all the different ways you can keep up to date with what we're doing and what the service learning community is doing. That includes our blog. We've got this brand new blog called Service Learning Equals Solutions, where we're trying to share stories and ideas and successes and challenges around how service learning can be a tool to meet the economic challenges that America is facing right now. And we're always looking for guest bloggers, if any of you are interested, or just interested in commenting on some of the things we have up there. We have various podcasts. We've just done a couple, which I'm not sure are up yet, about higher education and partnerships, which if they're not up yet, they will be soon. So I encourage you to check that out. Our email discussion lists, which are a great resource to connect with others in the service learning field. Our newsletter, and we have a few RSS feeds on funding opportunities, new resources available through the clearinghouse, as well as calls for papers and proposals. And then finally, links to where we can be found in the social networking world. We have a page on Facebook, MySpace, and a Twitter account. So lots of different ways you can follow what we're doing and get alerts to new resources and new things out there in the field. Pause for a second with any questions so far, or if I'm speaking too fast or throwing too much out there. Okay. So I guess I'll continue on with our left-hand navigation, and we'll go through a bunch of the different resources we have and the different databases here. The first part we have here is our What is Service Learning. We've got a page that has some definitions on service learning. We have a history of service learning page, a glossary, our media guide, which is essentially an FAQ on service learning, and then another link to our email discussion lists and newsletters. This is, I think, one of our richest takeaway resources, our instant info. Here we have a link to the A to Z topics, which I showed before, as well as links to our bibliographies, fact sheets, and hot topics. So those bibliographies are more in-depth lists of citations, many of which are in the clearinghouse, some of which are not, on various topics. Let me just take a brief look there. So things like risk management, faculty barriers to civic engagement, a bunch of different topics. Our fact sheets are another really popular resource. These are short, to a page, and then there's expanded versions of expert-created summaries of a particular topic in service learning. So engineering, education, and service learning, partnerships for higher education service learning. And these are great really takeaways if you don't have time to read 20 different articles on a particular topic, but would just like an overview. Something that's also really great to take to administrators or other people that you're trying to bring over into the world of service learning. These are great resources. Our hot topics are also pages on a particular topic, and it's linked to a bunch of our library items as opposed to any related fact sheets or outside links. And so these are another really good place to start if you're looking for things on a particular topic. The next thing I'd like to show you, I guess, is the library. I don't know how many of you have taken advantage of our library, but as the librarian, I suppose I'm a little bit biased as to what a great resource this is. But I really think it is. We have a few different ways you can search it. One of them is to search the entire library, and that's all our print and electronic resources. I think at this point we have over 8,000 resources in our library, and about 1,500 of those are full-text resources. So if you're a Learn and Serve America grantee or subgrantee, or if you get funding at all from the Corporation for National and Community Service, and that would include if you have an AmeriCorps Vista working in your office, you can borrow any of our library items for a period of 1 month. We ship them out to you for free. We ship them UPS 3 days, so you can get them pretty quickly, and then you just have to pay for the shipping back. So it's sort of like the service learning Netflix, we like to think of it. You can also, if you're looking for something right away, you either can't borrow from us or you just want what you want right now. You can search our e-library here, and that limits to just things that are full text. So if we just do a quick search, for the environment, you'll see we have over 120 results, and these are full text resources you can download and print out right away. There are a few ways you can limit those results if you think, I can't look through 128 results. One of them is to limit by sector. So if you folks are in the higher ed sector, you might not be interested in resources for K-12, community-based, or tribal. So you can limit by unclicking those check boxes right there. You're also able to limit by the type of resource. So if you know you're just interested in journal articles, you can uncheck all the boxes here. Or you can limit by, some of our library items have been rated as starter, expert, or classic. And so those are ones that have been reviewed by NSLC or our program advisors as really important materials in the field, and that's another way to limit. So if we limit to just the higher ed results, you see we've got 67. That's a lot more. Makes it easier to go through all of those. You can also search, not only, I was searching all fields, but by title, if you know what the title is, keyword, by author or institution. So if you're looking for anything written by, say, Shelley Billig or maybe Campus Compact, you can limit by that. Publication date, if you're looking for just the newer items. NSLC call number is not as useful. Abstract's not as useful. Journal title might be if you're looking for everything that's been published in the Michigan Journal. One thing I would like to point out is that while your institution's libraries are a really rich resource and they'll have a lot of things we don't have, the Michigan Journal for Community Service Learning, which is one of the foremost journals, isn't indexed in any of those major article databases. And as far as I know, the Clearinghouse is the only place that is indexed, and as they've now become online, you'll have immediate online access to all of those, which will be searchable through our library catalog. So in addition to this e-library search, you can search the main library catalog. In essentially the same way, you're just going to get all of the print-only resources. Oh, and I didn't mention that while we can't circulate those print-only materials to folks that aren't funded by the corporation, we can make photocopies of articles and chapters within fair use guidelines and mail those out to you. So do take advantage of the library. It's a really rich resource, and there's tons of stuff in there. There are a few other databases I would like to point out to you. One of them is our links collection. We have, I think there's about over 1,300 links to outside resources that we think will be useful for our community that have been included in here and categorized. This isn't something you can search, more just something that you can browse, but there's a lot of good stuff in there. Maybe I'll go back. Do any of you have questions about searching the library that I didn't mention? No, one other thing I didn't mention is that you can search for phrases, and that you do by using the quotation marks. And so that can really help you limit and find more relevant results there. Okay, back to our other search options. We have a sample forms and templates database. This is new within the past, I think, year or so. And we decided to pull this together when, as a librarian, I got a lot of questions of people that were looking for an example of a survey or some kind of contract or something like that. And it's our way of helping you guys from reinventing the wheel. While a lot of these forms and templates must seem like little things that you could create in a Word document or an Excel file in 10 or 15 minutes, with this database, we have a bunch of examples here that will save you those 10 or 15 minutes. And these are things that you can, some of them are PDF documents so that you wouldn't be able to change them and print them out, but you could model something after them. And some of them are Word documents, so you'll be able to just, take out the name of the institution, include yours, but we do hope that you will give proper credit to the people that created them with a little citation at the bottom or adapted from statements. And again, this is another place where we encourage you all to send us anything you have. It might seem like a really small thing, but I can assure you almost everything will probably help somebody out. Another one of our really rich databases, and this is our newest one, is our SLICE database, which is our service learning ideas and curricular examples. And this is full of syllabi, lesson plans, and project ideas. And they are all searchable by grade level and setting, so you probably want to choose higher education, subject area or discipline, as well as area of service. So if you're an anthropology teacher, you can search by that, or if you're a professor in something else, but you know that you want to do a project based around housing and homelessness, you can search that way. You can do a simple search just by selecting your sector and entering in any term. Give it a minute, I think my connection's a little bit slow. While we're waiting for those results to come out. Or you can do that more advanced search, selecting the subject area or discipline. We can also limit by state. However, that is more useful for the K-12 folks who have to deal with state standards. We also have a checkbox so you can just see the ones that are grantee produced. Looks like my connection's a little bit slow here, so.
There we go.
Well, if you're not actually able to see the results, if you don't select a sector, or you select, it won't work if you select more than one sector, you're going to get the results from all of those different ones. Unfortunately, it looks like we're having a bit of a problem with that search. Okay. A different one. And this is another place where, here we go. So search with biology, you'll see we have 11 syllabi contributed by Learn and Serve America grantees and others on biology service learning courses. And this is another place where we encourage you, if you're teaching a service learning course or your colleagues are, to encourage them to submit this to our database, and we can help promote the work they're doing and build information in the field. Any questions on searching searching slice or anything I've gone by so far?
No, looks good.
Okay. We'll keep moving on. So the few of our other databases we have one on funding sources. And these aren't new funding opportunities or current grant opportunities. Those you'll find in our RSS feeds, which again you can find on the Keep Up to Date page. But these are organizations, institutions, and regular grants that are either they happen all the time or on a regular basis. For the new ones, you're going to want to go to our RSS feed. Our conferences and events, I didn't show you how to search that, but you can search by sector, you can search by month and year, or by your state. We have our Learn and Serve America program directory, which is our directory of current Learn and Serve America grantee programs. Currently, for this grant cycle that's going to be ending soon, we just have the grantees, not the sub-grantees. But for the past directories, which you can see down here, I think a lot of them include the sub-grantees. This can be useful if you're looking to see what kind of projects Learn and Serve America is funding. It's also a good networking tool if you're just wondering who else in your state or in your region are doing service learning. One way is to look at who Learn and Serve is funding. We also have a link to the Corporation for National Community Services Resource Center's Effective Practices collection, and in this we've included a bunch of their effective practices that are on service learning. They have even more at their website that are on volunteer management, program management, things like that could be useful as well.
Would you click on reflection real quick?
Sure.
It's like the fourth bullet right there.
Yeah, so here are a few.
Okay.
Let's look at some of those. And these take you to the Resource Center's page.
Okay.
And they have a little abstract and then somebody who's done this. Let's see who's this one's from.
This looks like Kent Cove.
This one is the Haas Center for
Public Karen. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So these are links to all of their effective practices. One other thing that I'd like to point out, and for those of you who were at our technologically disastered session in Western Regional, I did hand out a list of our search tips, different ways and a few tips to search all these different databases, but you can also find them here on the website. The final section in this last navigation that I want to point out is About Us, and there's just some information and some not-so-flattering photos of the clearinghouse staff. As well as information about our program advisors, Learn and Serve America, and ETR Associates, which is where we're housed. And at the very bottom of every page, I'd also like to point out there's a Contact Us with all of our email addresses, that place for you to contribute any materials you have, and then information on accessibility and privacy. And that's going to be at the bottom of every page. So that's the overview of very quick, very brief overview of all of our resources. One thing that I didn't point out to you, but I think is probably our richest resource, is the staff here. Our library staff, we do free reference and referral to anybody that calls or emails us, and I know that's part of my favorite job, is helping people find the information they're looking for. And I want to emphasize that there is no question too big or too small. Some might be so big that I might not be able to find the answer you're looking for, but no question too big or too small that you should feel comfortable asking, because there is so much information on our website, and then so much information outside of our website that it can be overwhelming. So part of my job is to help you do that research and help you track down what you're looking for. So I encourage you to send an email or a call, and I'm more than happy to do that. And now, since I've given us the overview, I would like to open it up to any questions you might have, anything you've tried to find before but haven't been able to find, or any suggestions you might have on how we can make your experience on the website easier. Open it up, throw it out there.
This is Steve from Westminster College.
Hi, Steve.
One of the things that I have in my role here is I'm expected to be sort of a resource to faculty in different schools.
Okay.
What are some of the, if you were in the shoes of a faculty person, every once in a while has to give an in-service training to other faculty, what are some of the, what do you think are some of the most applicable pages on the most applicable clicks on this site?
Okay. I think that in our fact sheets are some of those really good ones. On the higher education fact sheet specifically, there are some, this page on reflection is just a good overview of what reflection is, why to do reflection, those sorts of things. So I think a lot of the fact sheets can be easily adapted into those quick trainings. Another thing that I didn't point out, but if you go to our e-library here, we have a list of PowerPoint presentations. And so here are a lot of examples of PowerPoint presentations that either NSLC or others have put together on service learning, which folks should not just take, but feel free to adapt with with proper citation or attribution. So I think those are the top two things that come to mind, would be those fact sheets and then these PowerPoint presentations. Is that sort of what you were thinking about?
Yes, exactly. This is who submits these things, the PowerPoint presentations? Is there...
we try to get submissions, but from anybody who's created them, a lot of these ones have been created by us or some of the folks that we work with closely. This one here is Shirley Billing, and she's our K-12 program advisor. We have some from Learn and Serve America folks, but then from others, here's the Kentucky Peer Service Learning Project. So we encourage, if you or your colleagues have created PowerPoints, to consider submitting them, because they definitely would help out somebody else doing similar training.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Should we submit them to you?
You should.
Okay.
You definitely should. And there is, as I pointed out at the top, the Promote Your Project. There's information on how to submit through that, but all those just come to me. So using my email address works just as well.
Great.
And you maintain copyright for that, and as I'm telling you guys, we do tell everybody to properly cite and not just steal people's work. But sharing it helps grow the field, so that's what we're all about. Any other questions out there, things I can help point out to you or help make a little clearer?
No, this was great. It's just a matter of me playing with it now and exploring.
It is. Exploring it, trying it out. And again, I want to emphasize that, I encourage people to try it out and see if they can track down what they're looking for. But if all else fails, I'm here to help you find it. So do take advantage of that. And feel free to tell all of your colleagues and any of your students that this resource is there for them, too.
Cool.
Yeah, like I say, I'm at a loss for questions right now, but this is ideal. I really appreciate this.
No problem. And if you have questions later, feel free to email those to me, too.
Okay. Thank you very much.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Heather.
Okay. Well, thanks for
you.
showing up, and I hope this answers some of your questions and will inspire you to spend more time exploring what we've got.
Oh, it certainly will. Thank you.
Okay, great. You guys have a good afternoon.
You
too.
Okay,
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The chairperson has just